evening. It's Jeannie Vaughn here, speaking for BHS Nightly News. Here's Shelby Oliver for our news stories.
This is Shelby Oliver here, speaking for BHS Nightly News, August 2nd, 1923. In a recent story, a young woman has been tragically murdered. You heard that right, murdered. Mrs. Myrtle Wilson was walking along the side of the road and was struck by a car. The car, a notably bright yellow color, threw her back into the side of the road and instantly killed her. She was a loving wife to her husband, Mr. George Wilson. Police have found that the car belonged to Mr. J. Gatsby. Mr. Gatsby is very well known in New York, and he claims he was driving the car at the time of the accident. Shortly after this awful incident, another murder appeared. The murder of Mr. J. Gatsby himself. One of Gatsby's butlers claims he was with Gatsby the day he was shot in his pool, and he looked over and saw that the murderer was none other than Mrs. Wilson's husband, Mr. George Wilson. This chain of tragic deaths has affected our city as a whole, and everyone can feel the grief weighing on their shoulders. This city is taking a turn for the worst. Now the next story, right after this commercial break.
Are you having a bad day?
Yeah.
Are you tired of never having enough energy to get through the day?
Yes.
Then you need Lucky Strike, my friend.
Lucky Strike, what's that?
Why, Lucky Strike is the cigarette of your dreams. Lucky Strike cigarettes have been recommended by numerous physicians, saying that it is less irritating than other cigarettes. When you need a cigarette, let Lucky Strike be the one to get you through the day.
It's Shelby Oliver back here in a breaking news account. Our current leader, Mr. President Harding, has just died. He suffered from a heart attack. Our country has suffered a great loss. Let's take a moment of silence to remember our president. Shelby Oliver for the Nightly News, August 2nd, 1923.